The Galactic Council chamber on Xylox buzzed with anticipation as representatives from countless alien species gathered for their annual meeting. Humans were just a legend, a myth whispered in the darkest corners of space bars and trading outposts. That was about to change. Ambassador Talon of the Trill delegation stepped forward, his scaled skin glistening under the chamber's harsh lights. He activated a holographic display showcasing exotic creatures from newly discovered planets. "Esteemed colleagues," he began, his voice smooth as silk, "I present to you the future of our exotic pet trade." As images of rare, beautiful, and clearly terrified animals flickered before the assembly, a young human girl named Lily Miller felt her blood boil. She was part of Earth's first delegation to the Council, meant to observe and report back. But as she watched the callous display of animal cruelty, she knew she couldn't stay silent. Lily stood, her heart pounding. "This is wrong!" Her voice echoed through the chamber, shocking the assembly into silence. Security drones whirred to life, moving to restrain her, but Lily was quicker. She dodged their metallic arms, continuing her impassioned speech. "These are living beings, not toys for your amusement." The chamber erupted in chaos. Alien delegates muttered and pointed, their translator implants working overtime to process the unexpected outburst. Ambassador Talon's eyes narrowed, his reptilian features twisting into a snarl. Meanwhile, in Earth's orbital defense station, Lieutenant Dennis Davis sat bolt upright in his chair. An urgent transmission from Dr. James Miller, Lily's father, flashed across his screen. "Lieutenant, my daughter has gone rogue. She's jeopardizing our first contact situation. You need to extract her immediately." Dennis, a decorated Space Force pilot, felt the weight of responsibility settle on his shoulders. He knew the delicate nature of humanity's introduction to the galactic community. If Lily's actions sparked an interstellar incident, Earth could face dire consequences. As Dennis rushed to prepare his stealth shuttle for launch, another transmission came through. The Trill had dispatched a capture team to silence Lily and maintain their influence over the Council. The race was on. Dennis's mind raced as he initiated launch sequences. He knew that his mission wasn't just about retrieving a wayward diplomat's daughter. It was about protecting Earth's future in the galactic community. And as his shuttle streaked towards Xylox, he couldn't shake the feeling that there was more to this situation than met the eye. Little did Dennis know that his mission would uncover a centuries-old conspiracy, one that had kept humanity isolated from the larger galactic civilization. As he approached Xylox, the fate of Earth's introduction to the stars hung in the balance, all because one human girl dared to speak out against animal cruelty in the Galactic Council. The stealth shuttle's engines thrummed with quiet intensity as Lieutenant Dennis Davis guided it out of Earth's orbital defense station. His team, a hand-picked group of elite operatives, sat in tense silence, each member acutely aware of the gravity of their mission. As they navigated through the crowded space lanes surrounding Earth, Dennis's comm panel lit up with an incoming transmission. Admiral Blake's stern face appeared on the screen, his expression grim. "Lieutenant, the situation on Xylox has escalated," the Admiral said without preamble. "The Trill delegation is calling for Lily Miller's immediate arrest and extradition. Your mission parameters have been expanded. Not only must you extract Lily, but you're also to gather intelligence on the Galactic Council's stance towards Earth. This information could be crucial for our future interactions with the galactic community." Dennis nodded, his heart made. "Understood, Admiral. We'll get it done." As the transmission ended, Dennis turned to his team. "You heard the man. Our mission just got more complicated. Stay sharp and be prepared for anything." Meanwhile, on Xylox, Lily Miller was in a desperate fight for her freedom. The council chambers had erupted into chaos following her impassioned outburst. Security drones whirred through the air, their metallic appendages grasping for her. Lily's heart pounded as she ducked and weaved through the alien crowd. Years of low-gravity parkour training on Earth's lunar colonies suddenly proved invaluable. She leaped over a startled Venusian diplomat, using his bulbous head as a springboard to propel herself towards an exit. "After her!" Ambassador Talon's voice rang out, his scales flushing with anger. "Don't let the human escape!" Lily burst through the exit and found herself in a sprawling alien metropolis. Towering structures of impossible geometries stretched towards the sky, while vehicles of all shapes and sizes zipped through the air. For a moment she stood frozen, overwhelmed by the sheer alienness of her surroundings. A shout from behind jolted her back to reality. The Trill capture team, led by the imposing figure of Commander Zax, had emerged from the council building. Lily didn't need to understand their language to know they were organizing a search pattern. She sprinted down the nearest alleyway, her mind racing. She needed to find a place to hide, to regroup, and figure out her next move. As she ran, she couldn't help but think of her father back on Earth. What would he think of her actions? Would he understand why she had to speak out? Back in space, Dennis's shuttle approached Xylox. As they neared the planet, an alarming sight greeted them. "Sir," one of the team members called out, "I'm detecting a massive energy barrier surrounding the planet. It's not on any of our intel reports." Dennis frowned, studying the readouts. The barrier seemed designed to prevent unauthorized ships from entering or leaving the planet's atmosphere. It was a formidable obstacle, one that could potentially derail their entire mission. But as he watched the energy patterns, Dennis noticed something. There was a fluctuation, a weakness in the emission pattern. It was slight, barely noticeable, but it was there. "I see a way through," Dennis announced, his hands moving over the controls with practiced ease. "It'll be tight, but we can make it. Brace yourselves." The shuttle dived towards the planet, weaving through the energy field with hair's-breadth precision. Alarms blared as they skimmed dangerously close to the barrier's edge. But Dennis's piloting skills proved true. They slipped through the gap and into Xylox's atmosphere, undetected by the orbital defense systems. On the planet's surface, Lily had made her way to the city's lower levels. The streets here were narrow and winding, filled with a diverse array of alien life forms. Many seemed to be outcasts, individuals who didn't quite fit into the Galactic Council's vision of society. As Lily caught her breath in a shadowy alcove, a voice spoke from behind her. "You're the human everyone's talking about, aren't you?" Lily whirled around to find herself face to face with a blue-skinned alien. Two antennae protruded from her forehead, twitching slightly as she regarded Lily with curiosity. "I'm Kira," the alien said, her universal translator converting her words to English. "I'm an Andorian engineer, and I think what you did up there was pretty brave." Lily hesitated, unsure whether to trust this stranger. But something in Kira's eyes spoke of sincerity. "I'm Lily," she replied, "and I'm in a lot of trouble." Kira nodded. "I heard about your speech. Not everyone agrees with the Council's policies, you know. Some of us down here, we've been waiting for someone to speak up." She gestured for Lily to follow her. "Come on, I know these underground networks like the back of my hand. I can help you stay hidden." As Lily followed Kira deeper into the alien city's underbelly, Dennis and his team were beginning their covert search. They moved through the crowded streets, their Earth-manufactured stealth suits allowing them to blend in with the diverse alien populace. Dennis's comm unit crackled to life. "Sir," one of his team reported, "I'm picking up chatter about the human girl. It seems news of her defiance has spread quickly. The population seems divided on how to react." Indeed, as they moved through the city, Dennis could see evidence of this division. Some aliens spoke in hushed, excited tones about the brave human who stood up to the council. Others seemed angry, viewing Lily as a troublemaker disrupting the established order. This division created a complex landscape for their mission. While sympathizers might be willing to help them, those who opposed Lily's actions could potentially expose them. In his command center, Commander Zax of the Trill capture team snarled in frustration. The human girl had proven surprisingly elusive. He turned to his second-in-command, his eyes glinting with malice. "Release the nanobots," he ordered, "programmed to detect human DNA. We'll flush her out no matter where she's hiding." Across the city, swarms of microscopic robots were released into the air. As they spread, Dennis and his team realized with growing alarm that their presence on Xylox was now at risk of being exposed. "Sir," one of his operatives whispered urgently, "those nanobots will detect us too. Our cover could be blown at any moment." Dennis's mind raced, weighing their options. They needed to find Lily quickly, before the nanobots exposed them all. But as he contemplated their next move, he couldn't shake the feeling that they had stumbled into something much bigger than a simple extraction mission. Little did he know that at that very moment, Ambassador Talon was receiving a coded message that would shed light on the true nature of Lily's presence on Xylox. As the ambassador's eyes widened in shock at the revelation, the stage was set for a confrontation that would shake the foundations of the Galactic Council and potentially reshape the future of humanity's place among the stars. Stars. The stealth shuttle's engines thrummed with quiet intensity as Lieutenant Dennis Davis guided it through Xylox's chaotic atmosphere. The energy barrier had been a close call, but his expert piloting skills had gotten them through undetected. "Activate holographic disguise units," Dennis ordered his team as they prepared for landing. Each member shimmered briefly before taking on the appearance of various alien species native to Xylox. Dennis himself now resembled a lanky Arcturian, his skin a mottled green and his eyes unnaturally wide. As they disembarked in a crowded spaceport, Dennis's comm unit crackled. "Sir, I'm detecting trace amounts of those nanobots. They're everywhere." Dennis nodded grimly. "Stay alert. Our disguises should fool them, but don't take any chances." The team moved through Xylox's bustling streets, their holographic camouflage allowing them to blend seamlessly with the diverse alien populace. They made their way to the planet's underground market, a sprawling maze of stalls and shadowy alcoves, where information was as valuable a commodity as any exotic good. Meanwhile, deep beneath the city's surface, Lily Miller followed her new ally Kira through a network of maintenance tunnels. The Andorian engineer moved with practiced ease, her antennae twitching as she navigated the labyrinthine passages. "We're almost there," Kira whispered, her voice barely audible over the distant hum of the city above. "Grax is waiting for us." They emerged into a hidden workshop, cluttered with strange devices and holographic displays. A tall, willowy alien with iridescent skin greeted them, his four eyes blinking in rapid succession. "Welcome, human," Grax said, his universal translator rendering his clicks and whistles into English. "I am Grax, formerly of Volran. Kira tells me you spoke out against the Council's animal trade. That took courage." Lily nodded, still catching her breath. "I couldn't stand by and watch those creatures suffer. But now I'm in way over my head." Grax's eyes gleamed with interest. "Perhaps you can help us then. I've been working on a device to counteract the Trill's animal control implants. With your planet's unique perspective, you might see something we've missed." As Lily examined Grax's schematics, she felt a strange tingling in her skull. Suddenly her vision blurred, and a flood of information cascaded through her mind. Complex equations, engineering principles, and scientific theories she'd never studied raced across her consciousness. "What's happening to me?" Lily gasped, steadying herself against a workbench. Kira rushed to her side. "Lily, what's wrong?" As the initial shock subsided, Lily found herself understanding Grax's designs with startling clarity. I think I can help you optimize this," she said, her fingers flying over the holographic interface. "If we adjust the resonance frequency here and recalibrate the neural interface..." Grax watched in amazement as Lily made improvements to his device that would have taken him months to conceive. "Extraordinary," he murmured. "Your species holds more secrets than we realized." Unbeknownst to Lily, her sudden burst of knowledge had not gone unnoticed. In a hidden chamber deep within the Galactic Council's headquarters, a group of hooded figures stirred. "The human has accessed the database," one of the Guardians of Balance intoned. "It is as we predicted." Another Guardian nodded solemnly. "The time approaches. We must prepare for the next phase." On the surface, Commander Zax paced in his command center, his scales flushed dark with anger. "How has one human girl evaded us for so long?" he snarled at his subordinates. One of his officers approached cautiously. "Sir, perhaps we should consider more aggressive measures?" Zax's eyes narrowed. "What do you suggest?" "We have access to the sonic weapons, sir. They're officially banned, but in a situation like this..." A cruel smile spread across Zax's face. Do it. I want that human found, whatever it takes. Across the city, piercing waves of sound began to emanate from hidden emitters. Aliens of all species clutched their heads in agony as the sonic assault overwhelmed their senses. Panic spread through the streets as civilians fled for shelter. In the underground market, Dennis and his team reeled from the sonic attack. Their holographic disguises flickered dangerously as they struggled to maintain composure. "What the hell is that?" one of Dennis's operatives shouted over the din. Dennis gritted his teeth. "Sonic weapons. Looks like the Trill are done playing nice. We need to find Lily now before this gets any worse." As chaos engulfed the city, Ambassador Talon received an urgent communication from his superiors. The Trill government was growing impatient with the hunt for Lily, and moderate members of the Galactic Council were beginning to question their methods. Talon's mind raced. He needed a way to salvage this situation before it spiraled completely out of control. An idea formed, one that might just turn this disaster into an opportunity. He quickly composed a message and sent it to be broadcast across all channels on Xylox. "Attention, citizens of Xylox and members of the galactic community. I, Ambassador Talon of the Trill delegation, hereby announce a public hearing to address recent events. To the human known as Lily Miller, if you surrender yourself willingly, you will be granted a fair trial and the opportunity to present your case against the exotic animal trade to the entire Galactic Council. This is a chance for your voice to be heard by all. The choice is yours." As the message echoed through the city's communication networks, it reached Lily in her underground hideout. She looked at Kira and Grax, her eyes wide with a mix of fear and persistence. "What should I do?" she asked, her voice barely a whisper. Before either of her alien allies could respond, the workshop's door burst open. Dennis and his team rushed in, their holographic disguises deactivating to reveal their human forms. "Lily Miller," Dennis said, his voice firm but not unkind. "I'm Lieutenant Dennis Davis of Earth's Space Force. We're here to extract you." Lily stared at the human soldiers in shock. "You came all this way for me?" Dennis nodded. "Your father sent us, but the situation has changed. We intercepted Talon's broadcast. Admiral Blake has authorized us to support you if you choose to accept the offer for a public hearing." As Lily processed this new development, she realized the weight of the decision before her. Accept Talon's offer and risk exposure, or continue hiding and working on Grax's device. The fate of Earth's place in the galactic community and the lives of countless enslaved animals hung in the balance. Little did they know, a new threat was silently converging on their location. Agent Vex, leader of the Trill Black Ops team, watched the underground workshop through the eyes of his assassin droids. His fingers hovered over the command to terminate, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. The stage was set for a confrontation that would shape the future of the galaxy. As Lily pondered her next move, the forces of order and chaos swirled around her, each seeking to claim this pivotal moment for their own ends. Lily's eyes darted between Dennis and her alien allies, her mind racing to process this new development. The underground workshop hummed with tension as the human soldiers stood at the ready, their weapons lowered, but hands never far from the triggers. "You're from Earth?" Lily managed, her voice barely above a whisper. Dennis nodded, his expression softening slightly. "Your father reached out to us when you disappeared. We've been tracking you since you left Earth orbit." Kira's antenna twitched nervously as she glanced between Lily and the newcomers. "Can we trust them?" she asked, her hand hovering near a concealed weapon. Grax's 4 eyes blinked rapidly, assessing the situation. "Perhaps we should hear them out," he suggested, his translator rendering his clicks into a calm, measured tone. Dennis took a step forward, hands raised in a placating gesture. "We're not here to cause trouble. Our mission was simply to extract Lily and bring her home safely. But given recent events, our orders have evolved." He paused, looking directly at Lily. "You need to understand the bigger picture here. Your actions haven't just put you at risk. They've potentially compromised Earth's first official contact with the galactic community." Lily's eyes widened as the weight of her actions began to sink in. I didn't realize... Earth has been observing galactic politics from the shadows for years, Dennis continued. We've been waiting for the right moment to reveal ourselves. Your speech at the Galactic Council has forced our hand. Grax leaned forward, his iridescent skin shimmering in the dim light of the workshop. This changes everything. If Earth were to publicly support Lily's cause, it could tip the balance, Kira finished, her antennae now quivering with excitement. Dennis nodded gravely. Exactly. Which is why we need to tread carefully from here on out. Lily, we're not here to stop you, but we need to work together if we're going to navigate this situation without starting an interstellar incident. Lily took a deep breath, squaring her shoulders. Okay, what do you propose? Before Dennis could respond, a distant rumble shook the workshop. Dust cascaded from the ceiling as the tremors intensified. What's happening? Lily asked, steadying herself against a workbench. Kira rushed to a makeshift console, her fingers flying over the alien interface. There's chaos in the streets. Massive crowds are gathering outside the Galactic Council headquarters. Dennis's comm unit crackled to life. Sir, we're receiving reports of widespread unrest across the city. Ambassador Talon's announcement has sparked protests and counter-protests. Looks like your speech made quite an impression, one of Dennis's team members remarked to Lily. Dennis's expression hardened. We need to move. It's not safe to stay in one place for too long. As if to emphasize his point, a high-pitched whine filled the air. Through a crack in the workshop's door, they glimpsed a sleek, insectoid drone zipping past. Hunter killer, Grax hissed, his voice filled with fear. They're scanning for human DNA. Dennis cursed under his breath. Zax must be getting desperate. All right, everyone gather what you need. We're relocating. As they hurriedly packed essential equipment, the lights in the workshop flickered ominously. Kira frowned, checking her console again. That's odd. We're experiencing power fluctuations across multiple sectors. Could be related to the unrest, Dennis suggested, but his tone betrayed his uncertainty. They moved swiftly through the underground tunnels, Dennis's team taking point while Grax and Kira guided them through the labyrinthine passages. Lily clutched the prototype neutralizer device to her chest, its significance weighing heavily on her. As they navigated the dark corridors, Dennis's comm unit chirped again. He listened intently, his face growing more serious with each passing moment. Change of plans, he announced as he ended the transmission. I've just received new orders from Admiral Blake. Earth is officially offering assistance to Persistence, the crisis on Xylox. Kira's antennae perked up. Your people are revealing themselves. Dennis nodded. The situation has escalated beyond our ability to remain hidden. Earth sees an opportunity to gain a foothold in galactic politics. Lily's mind reeled at the implications. Her impulsive act of defiance had set in motion events that would alter the course of human history. They emerged into a larger cavern that Grax had converted into a secondary workshop. As they caught their breath, Lily approached Dennis. I want to help, she said firmly. I started this, and I want to see it through. Dennis studied her for a moment before nodding. All right, but we do this smart. No more improvised speeches or solo heroics. We work as a team. Grax called them over to a holographic display. I've been analyzing the data from our prototype tests. We've successfully disabled the Trill's animal control implants within a limited range. Excitement bubbled up in Lily's chest. That's amazing! We can free the animals! Not so fast, Grax cautioned. The power requirements for a planet-wide effect are far beyond our current capabilities. A thoughtful expression crossed Dennis's face. What if we had a way to broadcast the signal from a higher vantage point? Say, Xylox's upper atmosphere? Kira's eyes widened. You mean... Our stealth shuttle, Dennis confirmed. If we can modify it to carry Grax's device, we might be able to free all the controlled animals on the planet simultaneously. Grax's 4 eyes blinked in rapid succession as he considered the proposal. It's risky, but it could work. We'd need to make some adjustments to account for atmospheric interference, but the principles are sound. Lily felt a surge of hope. This could be the proof we need to expose the Trill's unethical practices. As they began discussing the technical details of the plan, a series of explosions rocked the cavern. Dust and debris rained down as the sound of energy weapons filled the air. "We've been found!" Kira shouted, drawing her weapon. Dennis barked orders to his team, who quickly took up defensive positions. "Lily, stay with Grax. Protect the device at all costs." Through the chaos, Lily caught glimpses of sleek, black-clad figures moving with inhuman grace. One of them, a Trill with cold, calculating eyes, locked gazes with her for a brief moment. "Agent Vex," Grax whispered, his voice filled with dread. "The Trill Black Ops team. They must be after the neutralizer." As energy blasts scorched the cavern walls and the air filled with the acrid smell of ozone, Lily realized that the fate of countless enslaved creatures, and perhaps the future of Earth's place in the galaxy, now hung in the balance. The confrontation she had inadvertently set in motion was reaching its climax, and the choices made in the next few moments would reshape the course of galactic history. The confrontation she had inadvertently set in motion was reaching its climax, and the choices made in the next few moments would reshape the course of galactic politics. Lily took a deep breath, steeling herself. "We need to go with Dennis's plan," she announced, her voice firm despite the chaos around them. "It's our best chance to expose the Trill and save the animals." Dennis nodded, relief evident in his eyes. "All right, people, let's move out. We've got a shuttle to catch." The group quickly gathered their equipment, with Grax carefully securing the prototype neutralizer. They moved swiftly through the winding tunnels, guided by Kira's knowledge of the underground network. The distant sounds of explosions and energy weapon fire grew fainter as they put distance between themselves and their pursuers. After what felt like hours of tense, silent travel, they emerged from a concealed exit on the outskirts of the capital city. The Xyloxian skyline loomed before them, its towering structures now marred by pillars of smoke rising from various districts. "The shuttle's this way," Dennis said, gesturing towards a nearby forested area. "We've kept it hidden under a hollow camouflage net." As they approached the tree line, a high-pitched whine cut through the air. Lily ducked instinctively as an energy bolt sizzled past her head, scorching the bark of a nearby tree. "Contact!" one of Dennis's team shouted, dropping into a defensive crouch. A squad of Trill security forces emerged from behind a rocky outcropping, their weapons trained on the group. Lily recognized their leader, Commander Zax, his face contorted with rage. "Surrender the device and the human," Zax bellowed. "This is your only warning." Dennis signaled to his team, who fanned out with practiced precision. "Lily, Grax, Kira, stay back and protect the neutralizer. We'll handle this." What followed was unlike anything Lily had ever witnessed. The human soldiers moved with a fluid grace that seemed almost superhuman. Their energy weapons hummed to life, releasing precise bursts that found their marks with unerring accuracy. Zax's forces, caught off guard by the humans' superior combat skills, struggled to mount an effective defense. Within minutes, the alien security team lay incapacitated, with Zax himself nursing a stunned arm. "Let's move," Dennis ordered, his voice taut. "They'll have called for backup." They sprinted into the forest, weaving between massive alien trees. After a few hundred meters, they came upon a shimmering distortion in the air. Dennis tapped a command into his wrist computer, and the camouflage field dissolved, revealing a sleek, dark vessel. "Everyone aboard," Dennis said, lowering the shuttle's ramp. "We don't have much time." As they settled into the craft, Dennis took the pilot's seat. The shuttle's engines hummed to life, a low vibration thrumming through the hull. Lily watched in awe as the forest canopy fell away beneath them, replaced by the sprawling cityscape of Xylox's capital. "Grax, Lily," Dennis called over his shoulder. "Start working on modifying that neutralizer. We need it ready by the time we hit the stratosphere." Lily and Grax huddled over the device, making rapid adjustments based on Grax's calculations. Kira joined them, her expertise in engineering proving invaluable as they integrated the neutralizer with the shuttle's communication systems. "We're creating a makeshift broadcasting array," Kira explained, her antennae twitching with excitement. If this works, we should be able to blanket the entire planet with the neutralizing signal. As they worked, the shuttle climbed higher, the curvature of Xylox becoming visible through the viewports. Suddenly, alarms blared throughout the cabin. "We've got company!" Dennis shouted, his hands dancing over the controls. "Looks like we've tripped the orbital defense grid." The shuttle banked hard, narrowly avoiding a barrage of energy bolts from an automated defense platform. Lily gripped her seat, her stomach lurching as Dennis executed a series of evasive maneuvers. "How much longer?" Dennis called out, his voice strained as he navigated through a field of defense drones. "Almost there," Grax replied, his 4 eyes blinking rapidly as he made final adjustments. "We just need to reach optimal broadcasting altitude." A violent shudder ran through the shuttle, accompanied by the shriek of tearing metal. Sparks erupted from a nearby console as acrid smoke filled the cabin. "We're hit!" Kira exclaimed, rushing to assess the damage. "Port stabilizers offline. I'll try to reroute power, but we're running on fumes here." Through the view screen, Lily could see the blackness of space beckoning. They were so close, but the relentless attacks from the orbital defenses threatened to end their mission before it could begin. "Incoming!" Dennis yelled. "Some kind of new missile. Our stealth systems aren't fooling it." Lily watched in horror as a sleek projectile streaked towards them, effortlessly weaving through the shuttle's evasive pattern. In that moment, she realized this must be the work of Agent Vex and his Black Ops team, a last-ditch effort to stop them. "Brace for impact!" Dennis shouted, pushing the damaged shuttle to its limits in a desperate attempt to avoid the missile. The cabin filled with the scream of overworked engines and the groan of stressed metal. Lily clutched the neutralizer device, silently willing it to survive what was coming. As the missile closed in, she thought of all the creatures depending on them, of Earth's future in the galactic community, and of the friends who had risked everything to help her. With a silent prayer, Lily reached out and activated the neutralizer broadcast. A surge of energy pulsed through the shuttle, and for a moment, everything went still. Then, as if in slow motion, she watched the missile veer off course, its guidance systems scrambled by the powerful electromagnetic pulse. "It worked!" Grax exclaimed, his normally calm demeanor breaking into unbridled excitement. "The signal is broadcasting. Look!" Through the view screen, they could see the pulse spreading across the planet's surface like a ripple in a pond. As it washed over the continents, pinpricks of light began to appear, the neutralized control implants shorting out and releasing their hold on countless creatures. "We did it!" Lily breathed, tears of joy and relief streaming down her face. But their victory was short-lived. The shuttle, pushed beyond its limits and damaged by the attacks, began to shudder violently. Warning lights flashed across every console as systems failed in cascading sequence. "We're losing power," Dennis announced grimly. "The broadcast drained our reserves. We need to find a way to land, and fast." As the shuttle began its uncontrolled descent back into Xylox's atmosphere, Lily realized that their greatest challenge still lay ahead. They had freed the animals and exposed the Trill's unethical practices, but now they faced the daunting task of surviving the landing, evading capture, and navigating the political storm they had unleashed. The planet's surface rushed up to meet them, a patchwork of chaos and liberation. Somewhere down there, Commander Zax was mobilizing his forces for a final push to capture them. The future of Earth's place in the galactic community hung in the balance, with the next few hours likely to determine the course of human history. As Dennis fought for control of the failing shuttle, Lily gripped her seat and prepared for impact. Whatever came next, she knew that nothing would ever be the same again. The shuttle plummeted through Xylox's atmosphere, trailing smoke and debris. Dennis's knuckles turned white as he gripped the controls, fighting to keep the craft stable. Alarms blared throughout the cabin, warning of multiple system failures. "Brace for a rough landing," Dennis shouted over the din. "We're going in hot!" Lily peered through the view screen, watching as the planet's surface rushed up to meet them. The neutralizer's pulse had spread across the globe, and even from their altitude, she could see the chaos unfolding below. Massive herds of animals streamed from their enclosures, flooding city streets and disrupting traffic. As they descended, Dennis skillfully maneuvered the failing shuttle, dodging the Trill defense forces that pursued them. Energy bolts sizzled past, barely missing the craft's wings. "There!" Kira pointed to a clearing in a dense forest. "It's our best shot!" Dennis nodded grimly and angled the shuttle towards the patch of open ground. Trees whipped past at alarming speeds as they made their final approach. With a bone-jarring impact, the shuttle slammed into the earth, skidding across the forest floor before coming to a halt against a massive alien tree. "Everyone out!" Dennis ordered, coughing as acrid smoke filled the cabin. "Grab what you can and move." They scrambled from the wreckage, Grax cradling the precious neutralizer device. Lily snatched up a pack of supplies, her heart pounding as she heard the distant whine of Trill vehicles closing in. As they regrouped at the edge of the clearing, Lily's implant suddenly flared to life. A stream of data flooded her mind, providing detailed information about their surroundings. "There's a Xyloxian village about 5 kilometers north," she announced, blinking as she processed the information. "We might find help there." Dennis nodded. "Good. Let's move out before Zax's forces catch up." They set off into the alien forest, the dense foliage providing cover from aerial searches. As they trudged through the undergrowth, strange calls echoed around them, the cries of displaced Terran animals adjusting to their new freedom. Suddenly, a low growl stopped them in their tracks. A pack of wolves emerged from the shadows, their eyes gleaming in the dim light. Behind them, several large felines, tigers and lions, padded silently into view. Lily tensed, ready to run, but something held her back. The animals approached cautiously, sniffing the air. To everyone's amazement, they showed no signs of aggression. Instead, they began to form a protective circle around the group. "Incredible," Grax whispered, his 4 eyes wide with wonder. "It's as if they recognize us as allies." With their newfound animal guardians, the team pressed on towards the Xyloxian village. As they traveled, Lily's implant continued to provide valuable information, guiding them along the safest path. Hours passed and the forest began to thin. They crested a small hill and saw a cluster of buildings nestled in a valley below. The Xyloxian village was a collection of domed structures, their surfaces shimmering with an iridescent sheen. As they approached, a group of villagers emerged to meet them. At their head was a tall, willowy figure with luminescent skin, clearly a female of the species. "I am Mira," she announced, her voice melodious and otherworldly. "We have been watching your approach. Your connection with the Terran animals is most intriguing." Dennis stepped forward, hands raised in a gesture of peace. "We come seeking sanctuary. We've liberated the animals from Trill control, but now we're being hunted." Mira studied them for a long moment, her large almond-shaped eyes unblinking. Finally, she nodded. "Your actions have caused great upheaval, but we sense the righteousness of your cause. You may find refuge here." Relief washed over the group as they were led into the village. The Xyloxians provided them with food and a place to rest, while the Terran animals took up positions around the village perimeter, standing guard. As night fell, Grax, Kira, and Lily gathered to work on the neutralizer device. With access to Xyloxian tools and Lily's implant providing advanced Earth science, they made rapid progress. "If we can boost the power and focus the beam," Grax mused, manipulating a holographic display, "we might be able to create a weapon capable of disabling Trill technology on a much larger scale." While they worked, Dennis organized the village's defenses. He instructed the Xyloxians on basic combat tactics, creating a mixed force of villagers and animals ready to repel any attack. As dawn approached, a tense silence fell over the village. Lily's implant buzzed with a warning. Multiple groups were converging on their position. "They're coming," she announced grimly. "Vex's Black Ops team, Zax's forces, and others we can't identify." Dennis nodded, his face set with willpower. "Then it's time to see if our preparations will hold. Everyone to your positions." The village erupted into activity as defenders took their places. Xyloxians armed with makeshift weapons stood alongside snarling Terran predators. In the center of the village, Grax made final adjustments to the enhanced neutralizer. As the first rays of Xylox's sun breached the horizon, the attack began. Trill forces emerged from the forest, their energy weapons blazing, but the village's defenses held firm. Wolves and big cats leapt at the attackers, while Xyloxians used their knowledge of the terrain to outmaneuver the invaders. Lily found herself in the thick of the battle, her implant providing crucial tactical information. She directed the defenders, calling out enemy positions and coordinating counterattacks. Amidst the chaos, she spotted a familiar face, Agent Vex, leading a group of black-clad operatives toward the village center. Their target was clear, the neutralizer device. "Dennis!" Lily shouted over the din of battle. "Vex is going for the neutralizer!" Dennis nodded grimly, gesturing to a group of defenders. They moved to intercept Vex's team, engaging in a fierce firefight that lit up the morning sky. As the battle raged, Lily realized that this conflict was about more than just their small group. The fate of Earth's place in the galaxy hung in the balance, with the outcome of this skirmish likely to shape the course of human history for generations to come. With rekindled persistence, she turned back to the fray, ready to face whatever challenges the next hours would bring. The battle for Xylox, and for humanity's future, had only just begun. The first rays of Xylox's sun had barely touched the treetops when the attack commenced. A shimmer in the air was the only warning before Agent Vex's Black Ops team materialized within the village perimeter, their advanced cloaking technology rendering them nearly invisible. Dennis's voice cut through the early morning stillness. "They're here! Defensive positions!" The Terran animals reacted instantly. Wolves raised their heads and howled, pinpointing the locations of the hidden intruders. Lions and tigers, their enhanced senses detecting the subtle shifts in air currents caused by the cloaked operatives, launched themselves at the unseen threats. Lily watched in awe as a tiger collided with an invisible form, its claws raking across advanced armor and revealing the outline of a black-clad operative. The element of surprise lost, Vex's team opened fire, filling the air with energy bolts. "Xyloxian defenders, to your positions!" Mira called out, her melodious voice carrying an undercurrent of steel. The willowy aliens moved with surprising speed, using their intimate knowledge of the terrain to outmaneuver the invaders. Lily's implant hummed to life, feeding her a constant stream of tactical data. She found herself instinctively processing the information, coordinating the village's defenses with unparalleled efficiency. "Dennis, 2 operatives flanking from the east," she called out, her mind overlaying their positions on a mental map of the village. "Mira, your trap in Sector 3 is about to be triggered." As if on cue, a group of Black Ops soldiers stumbled into a hidden pit, their cloaking devices shorting out as they fell. The chaos of battle intensified as Commander Zax's forces arrived, creating a 3-way conflict that threatened to tear the village apart. Energy weapons scorched the air, while the snarls and roars of Terran predators mingled with the shouts of combatants. Amidst the fray, Grax and Kira worked feverishly on the neutralizer device, their hands flying over alien controls as they made final adjustments. "It's ready!" Grax shouted, his 4 eyes wide with excitement. "Activating now!" A wave of energy pulsed outward from the device, washing over the battlefield. Suddenly, the Trill's energy weapons sputtered and died, leaving the invaders holding useless hunks of metal. "It worked!" Kira exclaimed, a grin spreading across her face. "Their advanced tech is down!" The tide of battle shifted instantly. Without their superior weaponry, the Trill forces found themselves outmatched by the physical prowess of the humans and Terran animals. Dennis led a group of defenders in a charge, forcing the invaders back with a combination of hand-to-hand combat and improvised weapons. Lily coordinated the counterattack, her implant allowing her to process the rapidly changing battlefield conditions and direct allies to where they were needed most. A pack of wolves harried a group of Trill soldiers, while Xyloxian defenders used their knowledge of the local flora to hurl paralytic spores at the invaders. Just as victory seemed within reach, a massive shadow fell over the village. Lily looked up to see a Trill warship descending through the atmosphere, its hull gleaming in the morning light. "They're bringing in reinforcements," Dennis growled, his face grim as he watched the ship approach. But before the Trill vessel could deploy its troops, a series of explosions lit up the sky. A fleet of sleek, unfamiliar ships dropped out of hyperspace, their weapons blazing as they engaged the Trill warship. "It's Admiral Blake!" Kira shouted, recognizing the lead ship's design. "Earth's secret fleet!" The space battle above Xylox was a spectacular display of advanced technology, far beyond anything the Trill had expected from humanity. Lances of energy crisscrossed the sky, and the shock waves from exploding ships rattled the trees around the village. The ground battle came to a temporary halt as all combatants stared in awe at the orbital engagement. Lily saw confusion and fear on the faces of the Trill soldiers, their confidence shaken by this revelation of Earth's true capabilities. Seizing the moment of distraction, Dennis signaled to a small team of human and Xyloxian fighters. "Now's our chance. We're going after Zax." They moved swiftly through the chaos, Terran animals providing cover as they approached the Trill commander's position. In a blur of motion, Dennis and his team surrounded Zax, disarming him before he could react. "It's over, Commander," Dennis said, securing Zax's hands behind his back. "Your forces are outmatched, and your plans have failed." With Zax in custody, Dennis activated the commander's communication device. His voice rang out across the battlefield and beyond, reaching every Trill soldier and ship in the system. "This is Dennis Parker of Earth. We have your commander, and your forces are in retreat. But more importantly, we have the truth. The Trill's unethical practices have been exposed, and Earth's true capabilities revealed. Stand down now, and let's end this conflict before more lives are lost." As if to punctuate Dennis's words, a planet-wide holographic broadcast flickered to life. Lily recognized Zorn, the mysterious information broker, standing alongside representatives of the Guardians of Balance. "People of Xylox, of Earth, and of the galaxy," Zorn's voice boomed. "For too long, the truth has been hidden. Today, we reveal the full extent of the conspiracy to keep humanity isolated and Earth's true role in galactic affairs." The holographic display showed a dizzying array of historical records, classified documents, and recorded testimonies. Lily watched as alien soldiers lowered their weapons, the weight of centuries of deception finally lifting. Amidst the confusion, a familiar figure caught Lily's eye. Agent Vex, his face contorted with rage, was charging towards the neutralizer device. "Dennis!" Lily shouted, her implant feeding her combat data faster than she could consciously process. She moved without thinking, her enhanced reflexes allowing her to intercept Vex's path. As Lily engaged Vex in hand-to-hand combat, a group of liberated chimpanzees and orangutans created a diversion, hurling debris and scaling buildings to harass the Black Ops agent from all angles. Vex was skilled, but Lily's implant gave her an edge. She anticipated his moves, countering each strike with preternatural speed. In a final desperate lunge, Vex overextended himself. Lily sidestepped, and Dennis appeared as if from nowhere, tackling Vex to the ground and subduing him. With Vex captured and the Trill forces in disarray, an eerie calm settled over the battlefield. The sound of weapons fire from orbit had ceased, replaced by the low hum of Earth ships securing their position around Xylox. A priority transmission cut through the silence, projected for all to hear. By order of the Galactic Council, all combatants are to stand down immediately. An emergency session has been called. Representatives from Earth, including Dennis Parker and Lily Chen, are to present themselves before the Council without delay. Lily exchanged a look with Dennis, the weight of the moment settling upon them. They had won the battle, but the true test lay ahead. As Earth's representatives prepared to face the Galactic Council, the fate of humanity's place among the stars hung in the balance. Admiral Blake's voice crackled over their communication devices. "Dennis, Lily, you have full authority to represent Earth's interests at the Council session. The future of our planet is in your hands. Make us proud." As the team gathered to prepare for their appearance before the council, Lily's mind raced with the possibilities and challenges that lay ahead. The final confrontation might be over, but the most crucial phase of their mission was just beginning. The aftermath of the battle left Xylox in a state of eerie calm. Lily and Dennis surveyed the village, now a patchwork of scorch marks and upturned earth. The air still crackled with residual energy from the neutralizer, and the scent of ozone mingled with the planet's natural flora. "We need to move quickly," Admiral Blake's voice came through their communication devices, crisp and authoritative. "The Galactic Council is convening as we speak. Your transport to the ESS Horizon is on its way." Within minutes, a sleek shuttle touched down at the edge of the village. As Lily and Dennis boarded, they were joined by Grax, Kira, and a small contingent of their allies. The interior of the shuttle was a marvel of human engineering, its smooth lines and advanced displays a testament to Earth's hidden technological prowess. The journey to the ESS Horizon was brief but tense. Lily's mind raced, processing the events of the past few days and the monumental task that lay ahead. She glanced at Dennis, noting the determined set of his jaw and the way his fingers drummed restlessly on his knee. "We're about to change the course of galactic history," Lily said, her voice barely above a whisper. Dennis nodded, his eyes meeting hers. "And ensure a future where all sentient beings are treated with dignity." The ESS Horizon loomed before them, its massive hull gleaming in the light of Xylox's sun. As they docked, Admiral Blake greeted them personally, his weathered face a mask of calm professionalism. "Welcome aboard," he said, leading them through the ship's corridors. "We have a strategy room prepared. It's time to consolidate our evidence and prepare our case for the Council." The next few hours were a whirlwind of activity. Lily and Dennis worked alongside Grax, Kira, and a team of Earth's finest analysts and diplomats. They combed through data, compiled testimonies, and organized their presentation for maximum impact. Lily found herself standing before a holographic display, rehearsing her speech on the ethical treatment of sentient beings. The faces of the liberated animals on Xylox flashed before her, their eyes filled with an intelligence that could no longer be denied. As the ESS Horizon approached the Galactic Council's orbital station, a hush fell over the ship. Lily stood at a viewing port, watching as the massive structure came into view. Its design was unlike anything she had ever seen, a blend of organic shapes and crystalline spires that seemed to defy the laws of physics. "It's time," Admiral Blake announced, his voice carrying a weight that matched the gravity of the moment. They disembarked, stepping onto the station with a mix of awe and trepidation. The corridors were filled with beings of every conceivable shape and size, a living tapestry of galactic diversity. Lily's implant hummed softly, struggling to process the sheer variety of life forms surrounding them. As they were escorted to the council chamber, Lily caught sight of Ambassador Talon and the Trill delegation. The once proud ambassador now looked diminished, his shoulders hunched under the weight of his exposed deceptions. The council chamber itself was a marvel, a vast circular space that seemed to stretch into infinity. Tiered seating surrounded a central platform, each section filled with representatives from hundreds of alien species. The air buzzed with a cacophony of languages, instantly translated by their advanced communication devices. Admiral Blake took the floor first, his voice resonating through the chamber as he officially introduced humanity to the galactic community. Gasps and murmurs rippled through the audience as he activated a holographic display, showcasing Earth's hidden fleet and scientific achievements. "For centuries, we have prepared in secret," Blake declared, his voice firm and unapologetic. "Not out of aggression, but out of a desire to meet the galaxy as equals. Today we stand before you not as conquerors, but as partners in building a more just and equitable future for all sentient beings." As the Admiral concluded, Lily stepped forward. Her heart raced, but her voice was steady as she began her address. The chamber fell silent, all eyes and sensory organs focused on her. "Esteemed members of the Galactic Council," Lily began, her words carrying the weight of Earth's hopes and the future of countless sentient beings. I stand before you not just as a representative of humanity, but as an advocate for all those who have been denied their fundamental rights. Her speech unfolded, a passionate plea for ethical treatment backed by irrefutable evidence. As she spoke, holographic footage played behind her, showing the liberated animals on Xylox demonstrating problem-solving skills, emotional responses, and complex social behaviors. The chamber was transfixed. Lily saw tentacles quivering with emotion, bioluminescent skin pulsing in patterns of distress and wonder, and even what appeared to be tears from species she couldn't begin to comprehend. As Lily concluded, Grax and Kira took the floor. They presented their neutralizer technology, offering it as a tool to prevent future exploitation across the galaxy. The gesture sent a ripple of approval through the assembled delegates. Just as the momentum seemed to be swinging in their favor, a commotion erupted at the entrance to the chamber. Zorn strode in, flanked by members of the Guardians of Balance. His presence caused an immediate stir, with delegates whispering urgently to one another. "Honored Council," Zorn's voice boomed, "I come before you as the leader of the Guardians of Balance, keepers of the truth that has long been hidden from this august body." What followed was a masterful presentation of evidence, exposing centuries of Trill deception and the vast conspiracy to keep humanity isolated. Holographic displays flickered with classified documents, recorded testimonies, and damning financial trails. The council erupted into chaos. Delegates shouted accusations, demanded explanations, and called for immediate action. It took the combined efforts of the council's peacekeeping forces to restore order. In the midst of the tumult, a surprising figure stepped forward. Commander Zax, now in custody, requested to address the council. His testimony, delivered with a mix of resignation and relief, provided the final pieces of the puzzle. As the session stretched into its 10th hour, Lily found herself standing once again before the council. The air was thick with tension as the delegates prepared to render their decisions. She glanced at Dennis, drawing strength from his unwavering presence. The head of the council, a being of shimmering energy contained within a translucent shell, addressed the chamber. "After careful deliberation, we have reached a series of historic decisions that will reshape the future of our galactic community." Lily listened, her heart pounding, as the council's proclamations echoed through the chamber. Earth's recognition as a full member of the galactic community, the sanctions against the Trill government, the establishment of the Galactic Ethics Committee, with her at its head. As the session concluded, Lily and Dennis found themselves on an observation deck, gazing out at the star-studded expanse of space. The weight of their accomplishments and the magnitude of the changes they had set in motion settled over them like a cosmic mantle. Lily turned to Dennis, a smile playing at the corners of her mouth. "This is just the beginning, isn't it?" Dennis nodded, his eyes reflecting the starlight. "Humanity's greatest adventure is about to start." As they stood there, contemplating the vastness of space and the infinite possibilities that lay ahead, Lily's implant buzzed with an incoming transmission. It was a message from Earth, the first of what would undoubtedly be many, as news of their galactic revelations spread across their home planet. The message contained a video feed from Times Square in New York City. Crowds had gathered, their faces turned skyward as holographic displays showed alien worlds and the promise of interstellar travel. The joy and wonder on their faces were palpable, even across the vast distance of space. Lily and Dennis watched the scenes unfold, their hearts swelling with pride and hope. As representatives of Earth, they had not only secured humanity's place among the stars, but had also paved the way for a more just and ethical galaxy. The observation deck's door slid open, revealing Admiral Blake. His usually stern face was softened by a rare smile. "We've received word from Xylox," he announced. "Grax and Kira have begun overseeing the integration of the liberated animals into a new wildlife preserve. It's already being hailed as a model for interspecies cooperation." As they absorbed this news, another alert came through. The Galactic Ethics Committee was already receiving petitions from across the galaxy, calling for investigations into potential rights violations and request for assistance in toppling oppressive regimes. Lily took a deep breath, squaring her shoulders as she faced the Admiral. "I suppose it's time to get to work," she said, her voice filled with willpower. Dennis placed a hand on her shoulder, his touch a reminder of all they had been through and all that lay ahead. "Together," he said simply. As they turned to leave the observation deck, ready to face the challenges and opportunities of their new reality, the stars seemed to shine a little brighter. The galaxy was changing, and humanity was at the forefront of that change. The adventure, it seemed, was only just beginning.
You have reached the end of the story. If you enjoyed this story and want to support us, please leave a like and subscribe to our channel, and for every comment that says 88, I will heart every single one of them. Thank you for your time.